This is a lesson just to help 12.9 learning about elapsed time. What we're going to do is we're going to create a timeline with mountains, hills, and rocks and fill in the times as you go. So what we're going to look at first of all, there are 3 things that we need to use to help solve elapsed time. So I'm going to write the first thing over here. So for the first thing that we need to remember is that we need to look for the start time. Okay? The start time is the first thing we need to look for. The second thing is that we need to look for how long it lasts. So it lasts how long? So lasts how long, or how long the time has elapsed. That's another way of thinking about it. And then the third thing we need to think about is the end time. Now for every problem, it's going to give you 2 of these 3 things, and we need to figure out which one is missing. Now if we're going back in time, we will subtract. So if you're going back in time, you are going to subtract. Okay, so just remember that. Now if you're going into the future, you're going to add. So into the future, we will add, which makes sense. Okay? All right, so here are some little things, some pictures that we can use to help us solve this. So if you just think of this big triangle as a mountain, that means 1 hour. So you're just going to go forward 1 hour. Now these hills, these are going to be for 5, 10, or 15 minutes, so in 5-minute increments. And then these little rocks, these are just the small ones, those will be in 1-minute increments. Okay, so here's an example. Here's a sample problem. So it says, Greg was dropped off at the movies at 4:40 p.m. and his mom picked him up at the theater at 7:37. How long was Greg at the theater? So again, we're looking for these 3 things. So if he was dropped off at 4:40, that is our start time. Okay? So it's given us our start time for number 1. And it also said that he was picked up at 7:37. So this is our end time. Okay, so it gave us those 2 time periods. So what we're missing is it lasted how long, the second step. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to draw these little symbols to help us with that. He wants to know how long it lasted. How long was Greg at the theater? So we're going to start with a mountain for 1 hour. So 4:40, 1 hour after 4:40 would be 5:40. Okay, we still have another hour that we can go. So another hour would be 6:40. Now we can't go all the way to 7:37 because that would be passing that time. So now we're going to go and we're going to draw the hills for 5-minute increments. So 6:40 plus 5 would be 6:45, plus 5 would be 6:50, plus 5 would be 6:55, plus 5 would be 7 o'clock, plus 5 would be 7:05. We're going to have to draw a lot of these. Plus 5 would be 7:10. I'll write it up here. Plus 5 would be 7:15. Plus 5 would be 7:20. Write it down here. Plus 5 would be 7:25. Plus 5 would be 7:30. 7:30. Plus 5 would be 7:35. And now we have 2 minutes to get to the 7:37. So 7:36, 7:37. So there's another way that we could do this, but I'm starting this at the basic level. So we're going to go ahead and count this. So how many full hours? We have 2 hours. Okay, so 2 hours. And let's count our by 5s these minutes. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So 55 minutes. And then we have these 2 separate ones. So 56, 57. Okay, so 57 minutes. So if we added those 2 hours and 57 minutes, we would see that it took him, or how long was Greg at the theater? We could answer this. Greg was at the theater for 2 hours and 57 minutes. Okay, so I wanted to show you another way that we could do this because we got to the point where we were counting a lot of 5-minute increments. Now, once you understand the basic skills for this, it'll be a lot easier. So let's go ahead and use this chart down here, and I'm just going to do it a little bit differently than what they have on the paper. But you can still do it that way. That's the cool thing about math is there are so many different ways. So let's do the same thing. 4:40 to 5:40 was 1 hour, and then 5:40 to 6:40 is another hour. Now, we know 6:40 and 7:37 is so close to 7:40. So what we can do is we can go draw another mountain, and that's 7:40, but we know 40 minus this 37 right here is 3 minutes. So we're going to go back 1, 2, 3. That means we're subtracting. So we could say it was 2 hours, and then an hour is 60 minutes minus the 3 minutes right here would be 57. So we could see, minus the 3, not the 57. Sorry about that. 60 minus the 3 would be 57 right here. So we could see that it was 2 hours and 57 minutes, the same thing. You can do it either way, whatever helps you understand how to do this more. This first way right here is just a basic way so that you can see it. Once you understand that concept, you could subtract, and it would help you get that same answer. So using the mountains, hills, and rocks is just one way to help you figure out elapsed time. It would be different if it gave you how long it lasted, or the end time, or the start time and how long it lasted. You would just have to see if it's going back in time, you're going to subtract. If it's going into the future, you're going to add. So you can see in this case right here, we went back in time, so we subtracted those 3 minutes, and we got the 57 minutes of that hour as the part of the hour. Hopefully that helps you understand it. If you have any more questions, you can email me. Thank you. Bye.